Hello and welcome to another episode of the Portrait Profit Show. I'm sure glad you guys are here with me today. My name is Jim Landers, and my mission, well, it's simple. I help portrait photographers make a great income doing what they love. Each week on the Portrait Profit Show, you get tips and systems on the business side of photography designed to help you gain a mastery over marketing and sales so you can finally get what you deserve. You're in the right place. Welcome to the Portrait Profit Show. The Portrait Profit Show is brought to you by Digital Pro Lab and Landers Photography School. Now, for Digital Pro Lab, the folks at Digital Pro Lab are fantastic because they make you look like a hero. I want you to go to digitalprolab.com if you haven't already, digitalprolab.com, because the folks over at Digital Pro Lab are career people. They do this for their career. They love this stuff, and it shows. And your clients are going to be happy because of it. Digitalprolab.com. Amanda and her team are going to love you, and you're going to love them. Digitalprolab.com. And of course, Landers Photography School. That's me. That's what I do. I help portrait photographers. Now, I've got classes on different things. Like I think I'm pretty darn good at teaching the basics of photography, um, and several other key parts in there too. But I really like the business side. I've come to love it over time. Took a long time. Wasn't that way at first, but it is that way now. I and I help you make a great income doing what you love. We get rid of the struggle because you are good, wonderful people who are working hard. You're just sometimes working hard on things that aren't going to help you with your long-term vision. We're going to talk about one of those things today. Now, before we do, I want to call your attention to the like and the love button because I like and I love those buttons. I like it when you click on something when you click like when you hear something you resonate with or that you like. I like it when you comment. So do me a favor, go to the comment section right now and let me know you're here. The best way to do that is simple. Enter in hashtag live, letting me know you're here watching right now. Hashtag live. Now, if you're watching this as a replay, well, then enter in hashtag replay. Hashtag replay. But those of you who are watching right now, hashtag live. We're going to do something fun, interesting, and something that's going to make a big difference in your life. So I want you to, if you're not driving, close your eyes and I want you to imagine something. Lens Legends, that's you guys. You have a crystal clear vision of your life across every category that matters to you. Sounds good so far, right? You've got a crystal clear vision of your ideal life across every category that matters to you. But we don't stop there. I want you to pair that vision with a precise roadmap guiding every step towards making your ideal life your reality. This isn't about setting lofty goals. I mean, that's part of it. But this is about illuminating the path that causes those goals to become achievements. And with the side effect of motivation and confidence. I want to welcome you to the transformative power of timelining. And this is what we're doing today. Now, I call it vision victory. I'll get to that here in just a moment. But we're going to be talking about timelining. Timelining is a super tool. It's your personal comfort. It's your personal compass for navigating through life's uncertainties and challenges with confidence, steering clear of obstacles that could derail your progress, or even worse, halt it altogether. It's about transforming your aspirations into accomplishments, your dreams into reality. Vision Victory is the name I've given to a dynamic timelining process that begins with envisioning your ideal life and doing this before any talk of business strategy or business planning, market plans. Now, you may be thinking, while I guess that might make some sense, I need help right now getting clients, not buying a house, putting the kids to college, or retiring with plenty of money. I hear you guys. You're not wrong. You're right. But understanding where you truly want to end up in life, well, that lays the cornerstone of meaningful success. You don't get to a friend's house simply by turning onto every good road. You get there because you know the right roads. So I'm asking you, please stop just wandering. Yes, I know it feels right. It feels like you're doing the right thing. Your friends and family are seeing all the good things that you're doing. They see how hard you're working, but you'll end the struggle when you do what I'm suggesting. Here's a glimpse of what you're going to uncover today. First is the foundation, understanding why your vision of an ideal life is the foundation upon which all else is built. The second thing, we're going to go through this with a comprehensive approach, a detailed step-by-step method to define your complete ideal life across all important categories to you. Then we're going to move into visual momentum. This is the super tool of timelining. You're going to discover the unparalleled power of a visual timeline to solidify your journey from where you are today to where you want to be. That ideal life that you may or may not have defined, but you're going to want to because it makes a difference. And then strategic alignment. I'm going to give you some insights on how to align your photography business and other endeavors to serve not just your financial needs, but your broader life goals. Everything needs to be in the direction of your ideal life goals. Just like when you're driving, everything needs to be in the direction of where you're headed. It doesn't do any good just to head down roads that look good, which is what most photographers spend their entire career doing. Vision Victory promises more than just success. It offers a path to a life filled with purpose, fulfillment, and triumph. Together, let's transform our visions into victories. Now, the first thing we're going to be doing is the first step we're going to do is, let's see, here we go. Step one, the foundation, define your life categories. Starting a business often brings Well, it often begins with practical steps like establishing your legal entity, purchasing equipment, building a price list, creating a portfolio of images, and creating a marketing plan. And while these actions are important and you're going to be doing them, they might not necessarily align with your ultimate goals. I mean, if you haven't defined where you're going, how could you possibly know whether or not you were on the right road? You can't. You can only know that it's a good road versus one that has lots of potholes. It's too soon to get on the road, though. The most critical first step is not jumping into tasks, but defining your personal destination, clarifying what success truly means to you. Photography, or any business for that matter, is a tool to achieve your life's desires. We're lucky to have a passion for photography, but the bottom line is that if your photography business is not a tool to help you get what you want in life, you're going to be forced to use another tool. In other words, get a job outside of photography. That isn't what you want. Unfortunately, too many talented photographers find themselves struggling. The majority, vast majority. Not because photography businesses in general are flawed, but because they personally haven't aligned their business actions with their personal aspirations. I want to make sure that I'm driving this point home. I make lots of analogies, especially ones about driving, because this is like driving. When going to the grocery store, you wouldn't just start driving on every good road you see. Or when you go out of town to an event in another city, your desired destination is the foundation that guides all other choices, the route, the pace, any stops that you make, overnight stays, the amount of money that you'll need for gas, for food, for lodging. The same, guys, applies to your business. Defining an ideal life vision focuses your effort on what matters most to you. It enables evaluating of opportunities, making sure they align with where you want to go long term. Photography, like a car, is a tool that helps you get where you want to be. I have an action step for you. I want you to make a list of the significant categories in your life. Now, here's my list. I'll put it up on this. That might be hard to see, so I'll put that up on the screen in a different way as well. There we go. Family, and this is not in any particular order, by the way, but this is just my list. Family, career, relationships, financial, health, travel, social, possessions, things to own, contributions such as volunteering and donating to charities, fun that includes hobbies, play, rest, and spiritual or religious or mental things that are in your mind. You'll likely have many of the same major categories in your life. Maybe it's a lot more, not too many more though, because it'll get overwhelming. Maybe it's fewer. For a lot of you, it will be. The only thing though that matters is that you write down every significant category in your life. Now, we're going to do something more than just write it down, but that's all I want you to do at this point. I want you to write down every single major category that's significant in your life. Next step, by the way, is this resonating with you yet? If it is, will you do me a favor? Just go over to the comments and just write yes, or go a little bit further, saying, "Oh, this is making a lot of sense," or "I like the analogy of the road or the car." Let me know what you're thinking, guys. I don't want to feel like I'm alone here, so that's up to you to make sure that I don't feel like I'm here sitting in my office space all by myself, which, well, I am. But you guys are here with me. This is a live show. So let's move on to step number 2. I want you to brainstorm your ideal life vision in each category. You knew it was coming. Brainstorm your ideal life, your vision for your ideal life in each category. So now that you've defined the most important categories, it's time to infuse them with vibrant detail. This is going to be fun. This step is about dreaming big and painting a vivid picture of your ideal life in each aspect or category of your life. I'm going to give you the action step right now. I'll give you some more details here in a moment. But I want you to dedicate some time with each category to reflect and brainstorm on what your ideal life looks like in each category. Write down everything that comes to mind. No matter how grand, no matter how unattainable it seems today, write it down. During this process, consciously set aside any limitations. You usually put limitations on yourself, such as time, money, social influence. Don't do that right now. Those things don't matter right now. If money wasn't an issue, if time wasn't an issue, if who you know wasn't an issue, what kinds of things would you have in your ideal life in each one of the categories? Remember, categories first, write them all down. Then, once you've written the categories, then write down what your ideal life looks like in each one of those categories. You know what? We, I mentioned without any constraints. Let me spend just a little bit more time on that. I mean, there's an art to unrestricted visioning because at this stage, you have to resist the urge to evaluate or prioritize your ideas, to edit them, to think about the things you can't do or the things you failed on in the past. You have to put that out of your mind for right now because your goal is to lay out a comprehensive and unrestricted vision of what your ideal life looks like for you. This is not the time for editing or doubting. Allow yourself the freedom to dream without boundaries. If someone can do it, anyone at all, then it's fair game. I call this idealistic realistic. By detailing your ideal life, what I often refer to as your destination. If you're in one of my classes, if you're one of my coaching clients, I refer to this as a destination, your ideal life. Now, it's made up of lots of destinations, but I refer to it as your destination. When you detail your ideal life, you gain clarity and purpose, guiding both personal and professional decisions. With this foundation, we can begin mapping out practical steps to realize your vision. All right, let me give you some examples. I mentioned things that were important, like family and others. Well, with family, maybe you are uh, maybe recently married, don't have any kids yet, but you dream of having kids. So maybe you're writing down, dream of having two children and raising them in a nurturing suburban community known for its excellent schools. Whatever matters to you. Maybe you envision taking memorable family vacations that forge lasting bonds, cherished memories, beautiful photographs. Maybe you envision paying for their education or helping starting their lives financially. Whatever it is, that's up to you. How about in your career? In the career category, you may say, well, become a well known portrait photographer, someone who thrives and is sought after for my unique style. Maybe it's I operate a premium studio and you describe the fantastic location that inspires you and attracts your ideal clients. Maybe you want to earn 300,000 per year. This number is your number and it may change even after you've written it down, but write it down anyway. That's fine that it has the potential to change. Everything has the potential to change. That's no reason not to write it down. For every category identified in step one, detail out your vision, including aspects like key milestones and experiences. I mean, think about what are the significant achievements that you want to reach? What about financial targets? What income levels, savings, investments would be ideal? How about locations? And this is for everything. Where do you dream of living? Where do you dream of working? What about traveling with your family? Locations. Possessions. What do you want to own? What are the key items you want to own? Home, car, significant assets, non significant assets, a watch? What is it you want to own? How about quality time investments? How do you want to spend your time with family, with friends? How about on your own personal development? Let's think about professional achievements. What positions, credentials, or impacts do you want out of your career? And let's think really long term, or maybe not so long term. Legacy goals. What heritage or legacy do you aspire to create or leave behind? That can mean lots of things. What do you think about? Now, you may not have even thought about that one before. Take some time to think about it. Remember, there is no editing or evaluation yet. At this point, let your vision unfold freely and fully. This brainstorming session is about setting the stage for what's possible, encouraging you to dream big and set a comprehensive stage for what's possible in your life. The strategic narrowing of focus will come later. For now, embrace the expanse of your potential and allow your dreams to take shape without any restraints. How do you like the sound of that? Does that sound good, guys? Let me know. That's what the comment section is for. Let me know what's going on. If you liked what you just heard, click that like button. If you loved it, there's a love button too. Interact with me. Let me know you're here. And I can see that several of you have already posted some comments, and I really appreciate that. I'll take time to look at that real quick. I want to do some shout outs to Rick and to Baron and to Robin and to Scott and a whole bunch of Facebook users. It just says Facebook user, so I don't actually know who it is that's watching when it says Facebook user, but there's a whole bunch of them. I appreciate you guys for being here. I really do. Uh, let's move on to step number 3. Now, step number 3 is about creating your ideal life timeline. That's the purpose of this lesson today. But you had to have something to put on it. So that's what we've been doing during the first and second steps. This third step, this is when things start to come together because we're going to be talking about transforming your ideal life vision into a tangible plan. It requires not just writing the goals, but using the super tool of timelining to envision a path towards those goals. This step is about setting your goals in time, creating a visual representation of your path to achievement so that you can see each thing that you want to achieve in the order approximately that you want to put it in or that you want it to happen in. Let's talk real briefly about where to keep this ideal life timeline because it's my opinion that it's ideally kept in your workspace where you can see it, where you can be influenced by it, where it's just there. I have a comment about your workspace too, because a workspace is where your dreams are nurtured, where your strategies are devised, and where your journey towards an ideal life is actively managed. It's here that your visions are not just dreamed, but pursued with intention and with focus. Now, here's how to create a hands on timeline. First thing, translate your goals into visible markers. I'm going to describe what that is here in just a second. Trans- Translate your goals into visual markers. Now, I've got a different name for them. I'm going to share that with you here in just a moment. Each goal that you brainstormed earlier onto individual uh, each goal that we talked about earlier that you wrote down earlier. I want you to transfer each one of them onto its own small piece of paper. It could be sticky notes. This is what I call goal markers. So these visible markers that I mentioned, I call them goal markers. Arrange them in a rough sequence based on the order that you would like to achieve them. By the way, some of you may have a really, really large number of goals. If that's the case, then I want you to do this slightly different than I'm describing today, but the base is still the same. But if you have an incredibly large number of goals, it might be a good idea to keep them separated by their category. You just have a I'm going to mention here in just a minute, just a string for each category, but have them separated by category if you've got a really large number of them. But if you have a manageable number, what's a manageable number? I guess it depends on the size of the pieces of paper and the string that you're going to be putting them on here in a moment. But I'd say 30, 40 is the right number to up to is acceptable for one string. However, you might be able to fit a lot more based on your space. You might not be able to fit that many. And you don't want your pieces of paper to be too small because you want to be able to see them from anywhere in your workspace. But for purposes of keeping this simple, I'm proceeding with one ideal life timeline, not one that's broken up into its categories. Now, on these sheets of paper, I think you should write their category, but I'd want them really to be all in one timeline, assuming there's not a tremendous number of them. All right. Number two, set up your timeline foundation. This is where we get to the string. Grab an extended string and thumbtacks or push pins, and I want you to mount that string horizontally on the wall or a board or something in your workspace so that you are constantly influenced by it. That's why I want it in your workspace, in your field of view. I also recommend that you consider putting one end that ends behind a door. Let me tell you why I'm thinking why I'm describing it this way. This long string allows adequate space to map out your goal progression from left to right, which is mirroring your journey over time. Now, if privacy or space utilization is a concern, position one end so it can swing behind a door. That's why I'm saying end it behind a door. This enables easy concealing of the timeline when needed by releasing to one pin side to swing vertical behind a door. Number three, attach your goals using paper clips. Affix your goal markers to the string in your initial sequence that you've determined from left to right. I say initial sequence, you're going to change things, but put it up there on the string so you can see it. What do you want to accomplish next in order from left to right? Number four, review and adjust. Take a moment, step back and assess the overall flow. Rearrange the goal markers as your intuition and logic guide you. This tangible timeline in your workspace, this is going to keep your vision top of mind. As you complete each goal, put a small star or heart sticker on it, or place a marker between what you've accomplished and what you haven't yet accomplished. I want you to resist removing any of the achievements, any of your goals that you've achieved, because seeing what you've accomplished, that is a powerful motivator. I mean, aren't there times when you feel like I haven't done enough or there's so much more to do? See, there's always going to be so much more to do. But looking at what you've already accomplished makes you just feel a little bit stronger, knowing I'm not as bad as I felt in that moment. A key advantage of this flexible format is goals can be changed, they can be removed, and more often they can be resequenced as your priorities shift. Life happens. So revisit the timeline and optimize as your circumstances change. I'm going to share a story with you. You might appreciate this. Let me get a drink before I do that. Years back, I had an intern who referred to her ideal workspace as her war room. It's a space with her timeline on one wall showing her sequence goals. And the other three were covered in dry erase whiteboards, covered nearly completely in dry erase whiteboards. If I remember correctly, the term war room came from her days in team sports, a room where her coach would share strategies for the next game. Or maybe I've forgotten, but that's what I think it was she referred to, or where she got the idea. To me, her sharing this, her sharing the purpose, it showed me her intensity and sense of purpose by plotting her future vision combined with dynamic plans to action. It brought her ideal life vision to life and kept her focused on what matters most. She shared that this war room was her strategic base to visualize plans with her string timeline focused on major milestone targets. The whiteboards, well, they had more tactical steps to accomplish each phase. And she would, because it was on a dry erase board, she could fluidly change as her, sub goals or the parts that made up her goals were hit, and so she could move on. So she had a place where she could make changes constantly, and a place where she could stay aligned to her long-term goals. She described this visibility, she described this visibility as a vital accountability to stay on track. I share that story because the timeline string in your workspace, along with the other tools that can equally serve as your war room to track your progress and strategic plans towards your ideal life. I think there's accountability in visibility, not just having it in your mind. Beyond serving as a daily reminder, it's about strategy, action, and adapting. This timeline transforms your workspace into a strategic command center. Your timeline is more than a set of goals. It's a living, breathing strategy board. Complement it with other tools like whiteboards to creating a dynamic ecosystem for your ideal life goals and the steps that you need to achieve them. Mm, what a powerful tool. How do you feel about all that? Can you visualize that? Can you picture it in your mind? Are you going to do it when you get off when we finish this lesson today? Tell me. Tell me in the comments. Let me know what you're thinking. Is this some good ideas? Or is this something you can't even imagine that you'd be doing? I can't imagine you'd say that. I'm hoping you're saying, "This sounds great." Let's move on to step number 4, creating other timelines for strategic alignment and goal mapping. As you put together your ideal life timeline, you're going to recognize lots of other ways to leverage the benefits of the timelining super tool across various facets of your life and business. This step 4, emphasizes the extension of timelining beyond personal milestones, specifically applying it to your business objectives to ensure that your endeavors serve as a catalyst in achieving your ideal life. Business, let's talk about business and process timelines for your strategic alignment because I want you to create business timelines that support and enhance your ideal life vision. You're going to be covering key operational ideas and strategic planning periods. Let me give you some examples of that. A marketing process timeline. This outlines the sequential steps that you make in your marketing process. Now, your marketing process may be different than the next. So don't expect that this is going to look identical to someone else's process. But this includes your lead generation. What are you doing to cause leads to occur? And then the conversion, whatever that means to you, have maybe they take a step of filling out a web form, calling you, emailing you, texting you, whatever you feel like your next step is. So conversion, including frequency targets for activities like your social media postings, maybe a networking events that you go to. This timeline ensures a steady flow of qualified leads feeding into your business. Another business timeline may be a timeline that shows what you're going to be doing for the next year. So, a 1 year business plan. You could segment your annual goals into quarterly milestones if you want to. So, you'd be covering financial targets, client acquisition numbers, key project completions. This breakdown makes large goals more manageable, more trackable. I also think that you should consider at least doing longer projections, let's say 3 to 5 years, visualizing the future of your business, including growth aspirations, industry recognition, development of premium pricing packages, whatever it is that's important to you. Make a timeline for a little bit longer. Let's say, 2, 3, 5 years. And then one that is really long term planning. So 5+ years. Long term planning keeps you aligned with your ideal life trajectory. We also need to consider efficient operational processes. So things like your client sales process timeline, where you detail every client interaction from initial inquiry through to the sale, noting the time each phase should take, what it is you're doing with each step, what it is you expect them to do with each step, what things that you have to get before you can take a next step. Whatever it is that's part of your client sales process, you're going to create a timeline for it. Now, before adjusting any timelines, map out your current workflows in detail for a clear as is state, and then transfer them to pieces of paper to add to your timeline. Now, this isn't your life goals timeline. This is another timeline. This is using your timelining skills, using the super tool of timelining to be able to use it in lots of different ways that benefit you. You're going to be seeing this in the form of a timeline giving you the enhanced ability to identify gaps, inefficiencies, and areas for improvement then that can significantly enhance your client experience and your personal sales effectiveness. I know a lot of you don't feel like you're salespeople, but you are. You're just not that stereotype or the bad version that you have in your head. You are the base definition of a salesperson. A salesperson is a person who helps someone get what they want. That's it. If you have a different idea of what a salesperson is, then you have a definition of a stereotype rather than what a salesperson actually is. Now, that doesn't mean all salespeople are good salespeople. Some of them aren't, but you are. Now, about the client process, I recommend that you create a timeline from the client's point of view also. So, not just what it is you do or what you expect, but what is it that you are putting your clients through? Yeah, I recommend that you create a timeline from the client's point of view. What hoops do they have to jump through in order to do business with you? They have a lot of steps as well. And I mean all the way through. What is it that they have to do? This brings up a more advanced use case of timelines, what I call cross linkages between timelines. These are overlaps or interconnected steps across timelines because we've got to consider those too. So therefore, I recommend that you set these timelines up on top of one another so that you visualize areas for improvement. So you can see the gaps. Because if you've got the timeline of what your client has to do and the timeline or steps, the process of what you have to do, you're going to notice areas that you can improve in. You're going to see gaps, guarantee it. Here's another one, the entire client process, which, by the way, we're going to be covering here on the Portrait Profit Show on Monday, April 1st at noon. So write that down. That's the entire client process. I mean, the entire client process from the what it is they have to do to find out you exist to whatever step you have them do is the first step to visiting with them, to signing them up, to the planning process, to the session itself, to how you have them view their photographs and choose their photographs, and if you do printing, all that steps all the way up to whatever is your final step, which for me is installation of a framed printed work. The entire client process. How about your operational process timelines? The things that are completely and totally behind the scenes in your business. So it's the stuff you do when your clients aren't around. For instance, your follow-up process, your post-production process, the steps that you make after a session. This Writing these things down and then putting them up on a timeline will improve efficiency and service quality. Let's also talk about the importance of setting timeframes because setting clear timeframes for your goals, whether they're months, years, or decades away, this is what provides the structure needed to progress methodically towards them. This clarity and planning and execution helps to align your business endeavors with your personal life goals. So I want you to regularly review your schedule. When you need to make a change in a timeline, do it when you see it. Even with that immediate action, I still advise that you create a schedule for regular timeline evaluations, not necessarily weekly. Maybe it depends on what kind of timeline you're working on or what project you have timelined, but I'm thinking more like quarterly. Some things maybe annually. These reviews are helpful in adjusting for progress, new insights, new opportunities, shifting priorities, evolving objectives. So all the different things that you're going to cross paths with. Let's recognize the photography process because understanding the intricacies of the photography process from client consultation to final delivery, this allows for the creation of detailed timelines for each phase. This not only improves operational efficiency, but also enhances client satisfaction and business growth potential. So let's talk about the action steps that you need to do in order to make this happen. I think you already have an idea of what it is, but let's make sure because you're going to be doing visual mapping. That's converting each step or goal into a visual goal marker. Just as you did with your personal goals, you're going to write down each one of them in this for process it's steps that you're doing. You can call them goals or steps, whichever. You're going to write them all on separate pieces of paper. You're going to attach them to the timeline in the order that they happen in. Let me isolate a handful, let's say of four key business timelines that I think you should do right away. The first is a calendar timeline. So this incorporates known events, financial targets, anything that helps you navigate your year more effectively. Now, a calendar timeline is something that comes back. You could also do a circular calendar. And so, have you heard of circular calendars? Those are pretty cool. I do one, but a circular calendar is just the things, and this is also timelining, but it's just done in a circle instead of a line. These are things that happen every single year. The things that repeat every single year. Some of the things that you do happen every single year at the same time, approximately. So, therefore, create a calendar timeline. Number two, just like you have an ideal life timeline for your life, I want you to create the same for your business. So, an ideal life timeline for your business. Visualize your business goals, arrange them on a timeline to keep your aspirations in view. The third of four, a client process timeline. This is where you're detailing the journey your clients take from booking to receiving their final products. The entire client process timeline. This timeline, man, it's instrumental in ensuring a seamless and satisfying or thrilled client experience. I don't want my clients just satisfied. I see that in about me or in mission statements all the time that you want to satisfy your clients. Everybody can satisfy their clients. Well, that's nothing extra. I mean, you consider or you at least try to cause your clients to think that you're better than the crowd. Satisfying is what the crowd does. So I don't want to satisfy my clients. I want to thrill my clients. But that's just me. You do you. Number four, operational process timelines. So timeline just one of your behind the scenes processes. Just choose one. Operational process timeline. So those are the four that I want you to just knock out. Do as soon as you're able. Now, Lens Legends, as we reach the conclusion of today's exploration into the transformational super tool of timelining, I hope it's clear that the crafting of your ideal life timeline and the strategic alignment of your business and personal goals gives you a powerful methodology that turns your dreams into actionable plans. You know, the beauty of timelining lies in its simplicity. and its profound impact. It's a compass guiding you through the complexities of life and business, ensuring every step you make is in service to your ultimate goal, your ultimate vision of success, of fulfillment. By visualizing your goals across different timelines, you're not just planning your future, you're actively shaping it, making informed decisions, decisions that bridge that gap between where you are and where you wish to be. As you move forward, remember that timelining is a dynamic process. Life is fluid, and your goals are going to evolve. Regularly revisiting your timelines to adjust and refine them is not just recommended, mm, it's a necessity. That's why I recommend that your ideal life goals timeline is in your workspace, right out in front of you, so that you are constantly influenced by it. Today's insights into timelining, they're just the beginning. By applying the principles we've discussed today, you're setting yourself on a path towards not just achieving your goals, but living a life that's even more rich with purpose and passion than it's ever been. So I invite you to continue this journey with me on the Portrait Profit Show. Each episode is designed to inspire, inform, and empower you as you navigate the path to your ideal life and business success. My commitment is to provide you with knowledge, tools, and motivation to make your vision a reality. I hope your goal is to never miss an episode because each one is a stepping stone towards transforming your dreams into tangible achievements. Together, let's embrace the power of timelining and step confidently into a future where your dreams are not just possibilities, but certainties. I want to thank you for joining me today. Remember, the journey to your ideal life, it doesn't just happen. It's by design, it's created one timeline at a time. So here's to you and your success, both behind the lens and beyond. Now, if you feel like you need some help with the steps that we've discussed today, I'd be happy to give you a free 15-minute consultation. Now, let me put up the the address so you have that because it's a there we go. This is calendly.com/photo school/15min. That is the address that you can go to. Or if you are watching this on your computer, you can just use your phone to photograph this QR code. So I'll give you a moment to do that. I guess that's long enough. Vision victory. This tool is valuable to you. I hope that you're able to use it to elevate you in your life. Now, this is a physical timeline up on a string, held on with push pins on the wall, with sheets of little pieces of paper with your goals on them. This can also be done digitally, though. I mean, I kind of want you to have it physical. That's why I describe it this way. But it isn't the only way. You can create digital timelines, and you could go to VISME, VISME, and I'm going to give you four of them, I think. I'll give you a handful. VISME.co, not .com, .co. VISME.com. So this includes professional templates and some powerful features for advanced visualization that are it's suitable for different types of timelines, like project management. You could even do a company history. Those are fun to do as a timeline. There's a lot of use cases for timelines, by the way. Another one that you could consider is Vengage. That's VENNGAGE. This is a free timeline creator offering customizable templates for several different design needs, including project timelines, company timelines, onboarding timelines, different stuff. So vengage.com, VENNGAGE.com. Another one, and this the name may not sound like you could do it, but it's a more of a visual style, a smart draw. This provides a fast and efficient approach to creating timelines. So it's featuring a simple drag and drop editor, making it easy to create and amend your timeline. Smart Draw, smartdraw.com. Smart Draw is SMARTDRAW.com. Smart Draw. And the fourth one, and I've actually got several here on the list, but four is enough. Uh, Office Timeline Online. This is a simple one. It's a timeline generator that creates pretty cool looking timelines that are pretty easy to understand. So it's a free web-based tool that also offers capabilities to create Gantt charts. I don't know if you're familiar with Gantt charts, but if you are, then you know what I mean. If you're not, if you don't, well, maybe they don't. There's no value to them. There is, but a Gantt chart style. Go to officetimelineonline.com. Officetimelineonline.com. Each of the tools has its strengths. So the best choice of you is going to depend on your specific needs, your working style. These tools offer a range of functionalities from basic timeline creation to more advanced features like Gantt charts and detailed project management. Depending on your specific needs for detailing life goals, client processes, or business operations, one or more of those tools could effectively support your timelining method. So if you don't want to do it physically out in your environment, you can do it digitally as well. There's certainly some advantages to having it digitally, but I really like seeing it in the workspace. I think it has a greater impact for a longer period of time. As you know, you get the Portrait Profit Show every Monday. And I'm going to tell you what the upcoming shows are right now. So write them down so that you know when they are. They're every single Monday. So let's take a look at these upcoming shows that I have prepared for you. Uh, let's bring up that screen. There we go. So 1 week from today. So today is the first Monday of the month. The second Monday of the month, we move the schedule to 6:30 in the evening because we have a panel discussion where we bring in panelists, people to talk about the subject, to give their opinions. And in order to do that, it's a lot easier to do it in the evening than it is during the day. So we just move it to 6:30 in the evening, and we have our panel discussions on the second Monday of each month. So this is coming up on March 11th, 1 week from today, and that it's a discussion panel called "How I Decided on My Prices." So they're going to just discuss where they've come up with their prices, what made them choose what they have, why they have it, what they see as their future for their price list. But how did they do this? How did they decide on their prices? And then on March 18th is the perfect price list. Looks like I put that up on the screen too fast. But March 18th at noon, this is the perfect price list. Now we've done this particular subject in on the Portrait Profit Show before, and so we're doing it again. There are going to be some changes to it. Um, you'll see if you've seen the other ones. If you haven't, well, this is new to you. But yeah, there's going to be some news, some updated sections to this because of things that I've learned over the years. So the perfect price list. Put that on your schedule. Noon, March 18th. And then on March 25th at noon, so that's the end of the month. Yeah, we're just starting the month and I'm talking about the end already. Well, you know, client workflow for the best client experience. Isn't that what you say you want? Your clients to have the best experience? Of course you do. So let's talk about it. What is it going to take to give the best possible client experience? This is your client workflow. You're going to put it in a timeline, by the way. But what is the best client experience? Now, it's different for all of us. I just want you to brainstorm it, to think it through, not just happen and go by how you feel about it when at the moment that you're doing it. No, to have something consistent, something to look at so that you can improve upon it and make it better. So, March 25th at noon, client workflow for the best client experience. And this next one I mentioned already will start off the month of April by talking about the entire client sales process. I mean, this is everything that you do with a client. The client the entire client process. I guess the word sales shouldn't be there because that's part of the process, but this is the entire thing from before they actually reach out to you. Why are they reaching out to you? To them reaching out to you, them effectively raising their hand saying, I'm interested. What it is that you do next, your follow-up process, your planning, all the different steps, all the way to whatever it is that you deem as your final step, which for me is installation on their wall, but for you may be delivering digital files. And you have specific use cases where you do all of those things at different times for different purposes. We're going to be talking about the entire process. Hmm. I hope you've enjoyed this lesson today. I hope you can use it. You know what? Let me know. Go over to the comments. Tell me what you think about today. Is timelining something that you see yourself doing? Something you've already done? Something you have learned today that can enhance the things that you've already done? Take a moment. Tell me in the comments. Let me know. What do you think? Is this a good solution? Is this a good suggestion? Can you see this working? Let me know in the comments. And until next time, Lens Legends, it's you guys. Keep thriving, keep growing, and keep making your mark in the world of portrait photography. I believe in you. I believe in your power to elevate the art of photography, to enrich the lives of your clients, and to contribute to a community that's as dynamic and beautiful as the images that you create. I want to thank you for your time. I want to thank you for your attention here today. And thank you for the efforts that you make each and every day to be such an amazing portrait photographer. I encourage you to like and to share and to, of course, tune in to the next live stream 1 week from today at 6:30. Together, we help each other achieve our goals and make a difference in the world through our passion for portrait photography. For Landers Photography School and Digital Pro Lab, my name is Jim Landers, and I'm bringing you the weekly Portrait Profits Show. You guys rock. I look forward to watching you grow.